My name is Jorge Sebastiao. I've been in this space for about 7 years. It's been quite interesting. As you know, blockchain is a very interesting industry because one of the things that was highlighted by the previous presenter is something was referred as Web 3.0. In reality, one of the key elements that when we talk about web is that all the technologies that have existed for the last 20 years, security and trust was not built in. It was actually added on as an extra feature. That's why there's a lot of issues associated with people being hacked, people losing their money or not being able to transfer their assets in a proper way. So let me go through the key elements associated with it. One question I want to ask, maybe from the audiences here, how many people here have a Bitcoin wallet? Okay, well, let's say 50%. Out of these people that have a Bitcoin wallet, how many of them have lost part or the whole Bitcoin wallet because they forgot a password, or they forgot where the cold storage was, or the recovery key phrases, or sweated in front of the screen trying many times, hoping that you get the right letters in the right sequence? Okay, it's not a very good experience, especially as the value of these assets is going up. How much of this money has disappeared? Actually, quite a lot. In 2018, there's about $2 billion of digital or crypto assets that vanished. Now, they vanished for many reasons. They vanished because people forgot the keys to their wallets. They vanished because they left their crypto in exchanges. They vanished because somebody did some social engineering to them and somehow retrieved their key phrases and emptied their wallets. Or sometimes because your PC or your mobile phone was infected with some kind of virus or other thing that resulted in this loss. Many of you, when you use more modern wallets associated with Web 3.0, use wallets like MetaMask. How many people here have a MetaMask wallet? Especially if you use things like DeFi. DeFi is very popular as a modern way to do what we call decentralized banking, or banking that exists inside the blockchain. That is a good aspect because it's very flexible. Your wallet, you don't have to carry it with you. It's always there, so you just log in and that's it. However, there is problems. When you use MetaMask, it has to be used inside the browser. One of the most popular browsers in use today is Google Chrome. Another thing that happens when you use a browser is people sometimes install extensions to those browsers. Now, they don't always know the implications of installing these extensions because they're very friendly, they're very easy to use. However, hundreds of them are spying on you. Now, they can spy on what you see on the screen, they can spy what you type inside that web page, and that obviously can result you losing funds, for example, for your MetaMask wallet or any other wallet like Trust Wallet or others that are quite similar. However, exchanges and people in the crypto have become smart. They say, okay, let's protect the identity of the users by using not just static passwords that people can take away, but let's use dynamic user authentication. Now, there's many devices that exist to perform or give this functionality of additional authentication, and some of them are little keys that you use that generate a password every 60 seconds to every 2 minutes. However, another method is known as the SIM card that you carry with you. So today, your device of choice to go online is your mobile phone. And the key that is inside that mobile phone is called a SIM card, or identification module. Now, that SIM card is unique because it has very good encryption mechanisms built into it. It's basically a smart card. However, the people responsible for that smart card is not just you, it's the mobile operator. As you know, the mobile operator is not a bank. And one of the attacks that has become extremely popular is known as SIM swap. So what is really SIM swap? is somebody that gets information about you, maybe your name, your pet name, your wife's name, your birthday, and other relevant information. And they call the mobile company and say, oh, I just lost my phone, but I need to recover it. If they give or answer enough questions correctly, what do you think happens? Let's say you're traveling somewhere, all of a sudden you notice the signal on your mobile has gone off. That's usually a bad sign. That means maybe your SIM card got allocated to somebody else. Now, when you have access to that SIM card, these people have basically control over your entire digital life, not just your crypto wallets. They have access to your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, and pretty much everything you use. So imagine your life vanishing in front of your eyes. It's not a very good feeling. So many of my friends have been susceptible to this attack. Several of them have lost several $1 million. One of them by the name of Michael Turpin. Many of you have heard this name or not before. Michael Turpin has collected about 50% of the crypto that is on market cap today. So he actually took the mobile company in the United States, AT&T, to court for the tune of $75 million. He won the first of these court appearances, but of course, since companies like AT&T have got deep pockets, so they keep delaying the opportunity to pay him back for the losses that he got as a result of a SIM swap. Many of you have gone beyond using SIM cards to store your digital life. You probably heard about things like what we call cold wallets. Actually, there's different types of wallets, and they go by different degrees of temperature. We have what we call hot wallets. These are the wallets that are online and you do automatic direct trading from them. There is warm wallets, which is not as good as hot, but a little bit more safe, and they're typically in digital exchanges. Then we have cold wallets that are typically in special storage, like Trezor or Nano or others. However, they have software associated with them. And then what we call freezing or deep cold wallets. And these are wallets that are not at all connected with anything that is electronic, but they tend to be physical. It can be a metal plate, it can be a piece of paper, it can be a piece of wood, and you simply put it in a vault, or you put it underground, or you put it in multiple places just in case one of them disappears. Because cold wallets also have software in them. In this case, it's called firmware. It's a little bit smaller software, less bugs, but still some bugs do exist. So even with cold wallets, there's the possibility of attacks known as man-in-the-middle attacks. That means those are attacks that intercept the vulnerabilities in that firmware, and as a result are able to either capture your transfer or your passkeys or anything in between. And like any other updates, many of you have Windows, you need to update it every week or every month. That same thing happens to cold wallets firmware. We need to update it to prevent this kind of attacks. But the biggest mistake that most of us do is that we mistake exchanges for wallets. Exchanges are not safekeepers. The primarily function of an exchange is to allow you to trade between various currencies. And as soon as that exchange is done, your funds should come back to a much more secure mechanism of storage. And of course, the amount of the $2 billion that was hacked out of exchanges is probably 80% of the $2 billion that I talked about earlier. However, the biggest of all vulnerabilities is not technology, is every one of us. And many of us are susceptible to what we call social engineering. If you're here today, probably somebody impersonating myself would contact you in the future saying that their Trezor is not working. I don't have a Trezor, but they have my picture. It looks exactly like me. It looks like my Telegram ID. And after a bit of chatting with you and being very nice to you, they say, well, can you send me $1,000, please? And guess what? 1 out of 20 people actually do, because they're nice enough. They say, oh, George is in a bad way, he's stuck, and I want to help him. So this has happened to several of my friends. So please, if you do have contacted, I will not be asking you for any money anytime in the future. So it's probably not me. Now, that really means that billions of bitcoins have been lost forever. Now, how many bitcoins have been lost? Probably somewhere between 15 and 20%. Now, there's 21 million bitcoins. Try 15 to 20% at $63,000, and that gives you a pretty good idea of what has been lost. We need the sound for the video if it's possible. I'll try to go back. Do you have sound? The embedded videos got sound, so not that sound. Okay, let me try again. No, still no sound. Let's try again. If not, I'll try to kind of narrate it. Or just put the sound of the laptop up, and what I will do is I'll put the microphone next to the, we go low tech, and usually that works. Sorry for the delay, but technology is always exciting. No. Just put the sound of the laptop up, and we'll put the microphone next to the speaker. No. Okay, no worries. I'll try to narrate as we go through. Let me see, go back. No worries. Not important. I will send you all a copy of the video. Just send me a message, but don't ask for bitcoins, and I'll send you the video. Okay, so basically this video is very simple. It's a poor guy that lost, today is probably a bit more than that, but let's say it was around 260 million, because he put his keys not inside a nano ledger or Trezor, but a military-grade encryption device, what we call ultra-secure USB key. Those devices give you about 10 chances to try all the passwords possible. After 10 chances, the data is gone forever. I think the guy has tried something like 6 or 8 times. And then he asked for more help, so people suggested maybe hypnosis and other kinds of tricky things. But I think he has come to the conclusion that the bitcoins are gone forever, and he decided to try his luck by maybe having more better projects. So, okay. Many of you have heard about Mike Tyson. He's a famous boxer. And he has a famous word. Everybody has a plan until they get hit. So that means they go to a lot of exercise. So that really means no matter how much security and how much control you have, you're going to experiencing something that you have never experienced before in loss of crypto funds. So be ready with the best action to defend yourself. Now, I mentioned before that about 15 to 20% of the bitcoins have been lost. A lot of them are not active. So in circulation, we have somewhere about 40% or so, and many people don't transact with them. So that really means this is one of the reasons that is actually driving the price of Bitcoin up as well. Because the supply that is actually being transferred to use it as liquidity on a regular basis is very small. There's about 400 bitcoins being generated each day that are being sold and bought. Now, any kind of solution that you have to protect this should be risk-reward basis. And what we call this is risk appetite. So the kind of solution that I'm really talking about is what we call institutional grade solution. How many people here have heard about MicroStrategy? And MicroStrategy has changed the way you do treasury for a company. So instead of putting money in the bank and earning 4% interest a year, they decided to put the bulk of their money into Bitcoin. It's not the only company. There's about 10 or 20 of them that have put anywhere from 5% of their treasury to almost 100%. That really means if you have $1 billion or $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, you're not going to store this on a Trezor or a Nano Ledger. You're going to need a much more industrial grade or financial grade solution. So any kind of solution that you're going to be putting should be simple to use, should be that even if you forget the passwords, you should be able to actually recover the data. And the way we do that is by using things like decentralized technology. We use multiple passwords, so not one single person has access to all of these. And we typically call this cold storage custody. But even more important than that is these solutions today come with insurance. Now, why is insurance important? Because if all else fails, the insurance company will actually guarantee the funds that are in those wallets. Yes, there is a cost associated with it, but it's relatively small. Usually it's about 0.01%. So all these solutions enable you to have industrial grade security. So industrial grade, decentralized, multi-signature wallets. And they are geographically dispersed to ensure complete safety. Other important elements, although DeFi is becoming extremely popular, if you are in treasury or financial situation for a very large company, you need to operate in a regulated world. This particular solution is actually regulated in 4 different countries. It's regulated in Dubai under the MCC, is regulated in Liechtenstein, which is part of Europe, in Zug, which is part of Switzerland. Switzerland, by the way, is not part of Europe. For those, it's centered in the middle of Europe. So all the elements associated with smart contracts, KYC, are automatically all built in. So all of this is operated a complete decentralized cold storage solution based on Swiss technology. Why Swiss? Because people trust Swiss. Swiss is like an embassy of data. The data you put there, nobody else can come and grab it. And it's backed by also a stable coin that is based on Satoshi. This is my 10-15 minutes with you today. Hopefully you enjoy. I'm available for any questions that you may have. I have some documents in English, some in Greek, or not Greek, sorry, Turkish. Very important because many people here do not speak always English, so I have those available as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope you enjoyed the evening. And thank you for having me as your host today.